Back to Canberra now, folks. Joining us live is the independent Senator Jacqui Lambie. Jacqui, good to see you. So we'll start off with news poll out this morning. 2/3 of Australians back in the government's super proposals. Are you surprised by that high figure?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm not surprised at all. It's a David and Goliath battle at the moment, and there's a lot of people out there struggling, Pete, and they don't mind taking a little bit of money away from the rich. I'll be honest with you, and I think that's only going to get bigger.
OK, well, if there is support for a modest change to super, do you suspect the same would be the case for stage 3 tax cuts?
Those stage 3 tax cuts can be tapered, so those people that are sitting on around that 120,000 mark can actually still get their tax cut. It's the ones that go up over that 150 or 160, I guess, that do they actually need a tax cut? And that's what we need to debate there. So some of that stage 3 tax cut is really important. It still does hit those people that are just maybe just sailing along, but going up to any further over that, I don't know, 160 or 180, mate, fair income, really, we're just not in a right economic climate to be giving away freebies at this point in time.
Right.
So they can look at that stage 3 tax cuts, mate, and stagger it. Let's have a look at it.
Well, I mean, they do, and the argument's always been the highest earners do already pay the most tax, and we've had claims from various economists suggesting there could well be 7 rates cuts to come after 2 more rises. That's by the end of next year. When the stage 3 tax cuts start to come in. So might we need stimulus by then? So might that kind of work out perfectly for those stage 3 tax cuts to remain?
I don't think the rich need to be stimulus, mate. Most people that make stimulus happen are pretty simple. They're the people that are down on this edge, down here on this lower scale, who feed their money back in, that little bit of extra money they get back into their local businesses. That's how stimulus works. So for those people, for me, I don't need a bloody tax cut, mate. I can tell you right now, I do not need one, and I'm on that 220, 230 a year. I don't want that. I would rather that being passed down on that bottom chain, and this should be the Australian way. These are part of our values and who we are and how we've been growing up, is always to help out those that are less fortunate, which means that sometimes you'll have to go without when you are fortunate enough. That's just the Australian way.
Given how poorly the government sold the super change, though, has it lost political capital now to go after stage 3?
I don't think they sold it poorly. They've they've decided to come in with that super change, and like you said, most people are in agreement to that. I can't see, if you've got $3 million sitting in your super, that's not near enough at this point in time. And I suspect most of those people would be older, and they will be cashing in on that in the next 10 years. So, mate, we're only looking at anything over that $3 million that you'll be taxed. That you won't get that extra tax for. I really don't have a problem with that. Neither do many other millions of Australians out there. It's as simple as that.
OK, a couple of big ones on the Senate's agenda over the next little while, the National Reconstruction Fund, as well as the safeguards mechanism, some of the policies or proposals that are up. How are you going to go on those?
Yeah, we are still in discussions in reference to the safeguards. I'm worried about some of those changes, especially when there hasn't been technology invented to reduce emissions. Some of those, those people out there like cement, for example. I have that in my own backyard. Unfortunately, mate, to reduce their emissions means we need technology. That has not been invented yet, so it's to watch for all that stuff. We're still sorting out that. That is quite a big bill. As for the national construction one, certainly we've been given 600 houses in Tasmania. I can tell you what, that just doesn't come out mathematically. It's actually 1,200 we're entitled to. The other thing that bothers me with that is that money is a loan to the states. They've still got to pay it back, mate, on a low interest rate. Now, I just finished wiping Tasmania's housing debt about 3 years ago. I do not want to have to come back in the next 2 or 3 years and wipe that debt. So they really need to have a very close look at this. I'm not sure whether, I'm not sure what's going on with the states here, but seriously, it just means more money they're going to have to pay back with interest attached to it. That is where we're up to. OK, so just to back things up, it's a no for you on the safeguard mechanism as things stand at the moment. Then to the National Reconstruction Fund and the Housing Fund separately. Is that a no for you from both of those at this stage? No, definitely not a no. But I can tell you, we want our entitlement. And our entitlement is 1,200 houses down Tasmania.
This is on the Housing Fund.
This is on the Housing Fund.
OK.
So we need to have a look at that. and the rest we're still working on. I don't see that coming up this week. A lot of it is pretty breezy. This week it'll be those last 2 weeks, the sittings in March. So everybody's still in negotiations up here at the moment. I'd expect that to go. Most of this week will be non-contro. And then, of course, we have the vote to be taken for the machinery for the Indigenous vote out there, mate. So I think that's going to be the big one playing out this week.
Okay, are you fired up? Are you ready to go?
I am ready to go, mate, but I'll be much better ready to go in that last 2 weeks in March. I can assure you now there'll be a lot of debate going on in those last 2 weeks.
Okay, we'll turn up the volume then. Jacqui Lambie, good to see you as always. We'll chat to you then.